Hi, my name is Jeff and welcome back to my workshop. Today we're continuing work on the turnout build. I've already started putting down some PC board ties. These cut from this 12-inch length of material. I got this from Oak Hill Hobbies. I'll put a link to them in the description. This video isn't sponsored. I purchased it from them, but I'll give them a link in case you're interested in doing this. So what I need to do is measure the length, and I'm just using a Sharpie. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect. I'm marking where I'm going to cut, and then while I'm at it, I'm also going to mark where I need to file a insulating gap, and that'll be right in the middle there. I found a good tool to cut them with is just my needle nose pliers. They've got a wire cutter in them that works really well. You just need to make sure, since it's not flush to one side, that you're lined up on your mark, and then they cut through nice and easy. And then just take a file and clean up the ends real quick. Just takes a couple of quick swipes along each edge to do that. And I do both sides, even when it's a factory cut side, like that. Then I need to cut the gap in it, so after I double check the fit, now to cut the gap, I'm just using in this case it's a half moon file, but you could also use a triangular file. But again, this is what I have that's sharp, and it gives a good clean cut on the end. And just file back and forth a couple of times till you get a nice groove and you've cut through the copper cladding. You want to make sure you get through that copper so that the sides are insulated. If you're not sure, you can always take a voltometer and set it to resistance and check and see if there's connection between them. There should be 0 volts transmitting between them. If it shows infinite, then you've got a short and you need to cut that a little deeper. But I went deep enough on these that I didn't think it was needed. Then I'm just going to shine it up a little bit with some sandpaper. After I shot this, I realized that a better tool is just to take a block of wood. In this case, I used the 2x4 piece of 2x4 that I used for my frog point jig, and just held the sandpaper around it. It gave a smooth surface against the tie, so it got the tie nice and shiny much quicker than trying to do it by hand like this. But you want to get it clean and get all the oxidation off so the solder will flow well on it. Once that's done, I'm going to take this and there's a stubborn bit of oxidation here, and I'm just using the file to clean that up a little bit. And then get the other side half of it as well. Once that's in, I set the tie in place on the jig, on the paper template, and then I'm just going to use 4 track spikes, one on each end to hold it in place from moving up and down, side to side on the turnout, and one towards one side pointing to the left, and one on the right side of the tie. So on either side of the tie, one above, one below, to keep it from moving in those directions. with that done, then we'll move on and get all the rest of the ties. Now, if you're working off of a Fast Tracks template like I am, there's the tie I'm doing right now is labeled an S tie, and the one that's right under my hand, a little closer to the points, is the H tie. You really only need one according to Fast Tracks. I like to have the extra tie. The difference is whether you're doing a hinged point or a solid point. I'm doing a solid point, so the closure rail and points are all going to be one piece of rail. So when we're doing this on that H tie, I'm not going to solder the closure rails to that, and I'll cover that more next week when I do the closure rails. So with all the ties in place, the next step is to do the straight stock rail. And the first thing I need to do is mark where I need to grind off the base of the rail for the points. So I'm just using a Sharpie to mark those locations. The point end of that location should be just beyond the crossbar, the throw bar. And then I'm just highlighting in between it so I have a good reference to see as I'm working. And now I'm going to get out my Dremel tool, because I'm going to use a Dremel with a grinding tool. If you have the Fast Tracks jigs and equipment, you can use their stockade tool to help file that out. But since I'm doing it by hand, I'm going to use a Dremel with a grinding wheel on it, and I'm going to want to just grind the base down so it's even with the webbing. I don't want to take off the webbing, and I'm going to take off a little bit of the rail head, just a small notch right near where the points are going to come into contact. But again, not much. I don't want to go beyond any further than the webbing. So I'm just using a grinding wheel. And as I've said before, when you're done, you'll either have learned how to build a turnout from me, or you may have learned how not to do it. We'll both find out together. If I fail at this, I'm still going to post the videos, so they won't come down if I make a mess out of this thing. I consider that a learning experience, and maybe if that's the case and it doesn't turn out, then hopefully you'll learn from some of my mistakes. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you haven't already subscribed, please make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button. It really helps the channel. I'm trying to grow the channel. I'd like to get up to 500 subscribers. I'm at 475 as of the recording of this. So please share the videos if you get a chance. As you can see, I'm just grinding the rail base down here. I'm taking it slowly and easily and a light touch, and checking my work as I go, because I don't want to take off too much. And that's easy to do. So better to take off too little and have to go back and take a little more than to take too much, because you can't put it back. Okay, once I'm done with that and happy with it, then we will start soldering it in place. Okay, I've switched over to my soldering rig. I've got my soldering station out and warming up. Now I want to make sure I get this rail straight because this is a straight stock rail. So I'm going to use a straight edge to help guide me as I go. The rail's straight, so we're good there. But before I start soldering in place, I want to put some flux down on each of the ties where the rail will touch it. This way, the flux will help clean any oxidation that may have appeared there off, and also help the solder to flow a little better. Now, if you've seen me do soldering before with electronics, you know I'm not a big fan of flux. I don't feel it's needed most of the time, but this is a case where I think it is. Since I have it in place and straight now, I set some 1, 2, 3 blocks on the rails to hold it in place so it doesn't move. And then I want to heat the base of the rail and the tie, and then just apply solder to it. I did one in the middle. Now I'm going to do the end ties, and then we'll go back and get the ties in between. This way the tie's tacked in a few places, and then we can load them in. Now I tack both the outside and the inside, except in certain locations, like the tie right on the frog end of the throw bar. Also, anything that might have by the guardrails, I did not tack those on the inside, the gauge side of the rail. I'm just using a track gauge. In this case, it's a KD coupler gauge, but it'll also measure the track gauge, check the track gauge to make sure I'm in gauge, to get the rails lined up right for the frog rail. And then we will start by soldering at the tip of the frog and get that tacked into place in exactly the right spot we need it. Again, we're going to do both sides of the frog rail. We want to be easy with the solder because we don't want too much flowing, because otherwise that will affect the wing rails at the end of the closure rails. And then we'll just tag that, both legs of that down on either side of the frog. Once that's done, we'll get ready for our next step, which will be in next week's video, and that will be doing the closure and point rails. I'm going to be working from the straight stock rail over. So next week, stay tuned for next week's episode when we do the closure rails and points. It should be an interesting theory to see how that works. It may just convince me I need to spend money on some different tools, but we'll see. I'm hoping not. So thank you for watching. As you can see, it's really starting to look like a turnout here, and I will see you in our next episode.